assign so much rain today. I mean, what are invasive species?
Well, if you read your textbook, you would know that invasive species are species that are non-native to the ecosystem under consideration and species whose introduction causes or is likely to cause environmental harm or harm to human health.
But why don't you learn about them? Why are they so important?
Important, invasive species can destroy entire ecosystems and take over large areas because they have no natural predators. So yeah, I guess you could say they're kind of important.
Nah, I don't believe you.
Unless you enjoy watching entire ecosystems fall apart, I suggest you educate yourself some more on invasive species.
Did somebody say invasive species?
Yeah?
I love invasive species.
I wouldn't exactly say love is the best term to use there.
Are you tired of being cooped up in a classroom learning from a huge textbook? Well, look no further. Let's get hands-on and take a field trip down to the creek.
It sounds like you're in an infomercial.
Shh, you didn't say anything. Let's go. All right, we made it down Freshman Hill.
Can we hold on for a second? Okay, now what?
Time to find different invasive species around the creek. Follow me.
Wait, but how do we know what's an invasive species and what's not?
I told you to do your work. You would know if you did your reading.
You're not Carlin.
All right, Susan, you go find garlic mustard. Carly, you go find a stink bug. And I'll find Japanese steelgrass. Let's go.
Alright, so this is garlic mustard. According to MISC, it's a biennial flowering plant in the mustard family. Garlic mustard was first recorded in the US around 1868 and was most likely introduced for food and medicinal purposes. You can see here that the garlic mustard has taken over since it outnumbers most of the other plants.
This is a brown marmorated stink bug, an insect of the Pentatomidae family native to East Asia, as stated by the NPMA. While some are predatory, others are herbivores and enjoy destroying crops, especially soybeans. These little stinkers are also very annoying. They most likely arrived in the US on a ship that had come from East Asia.
This is Japanese steelgrass. According to the USDA and MISC, it is an annual packing grass that is adapted to receiving low levels of light. This makes the ground here a prime environment since the tree canopy blocks light from the sun. It is native to Japan, Korea, China, Malaysia, and India. It was introduced in Tennessee in 1919 as a packing material for porcelain.
Okay, so now that's over, explain to me, so why is it bad to introduce a new species?
Although people had good intentions at first, the new plants or animals quickly escaped into the new environment and started to take over. Since they have no natural predators, they can reproduce quickly and their populations can grow exponentially until they reach the carrying capacity of the environment. Then the organisms begin to compete for resources and the invasive species usually wins the battle. This allows for the invasive species to spread even more.
And sometimes they introduce another species as natural predator of the original invasive species.
Yeah, like those rats that were accidentally introduced to the Virgin Islands in the 1800s and infested sugarcane crops. Mongoose were introduced to be a predator, but the rats were nocturnal and slept in the trees, while mongoose were diurnal and could not climb the trees, so the result was 2 invasive species.
Wait, but can't introducing a new species sometimes be beneficial? I mean, zebra mussels were introduced to Chesapeake Bay, and now they filter out the toxins in the water. And honeybees aren't native to North America, but they are vital for pollination.
You're correct about the honeybees, but the toxins that the zebra mussels filter out of the water remain in their tissues and can be passed up through the food chain. This causes the animals at the top of the food chain to have the highest concentration of toxins in their body due to bioaccumulation, and that's not good for us when it comes to food.
And Jacob Hill at Purdue University says that the loss of environmental resources and control methods used for invasive species cost the United States approximately $120 billion a year. Just think, all of those expenses could have been avoided if people didn't introduce invasive species.
I guess the moral of the story is don't dump your Burmese python on the side of the road, if you know what I mean.
So, if you're defining an invasive species as a species whose introduction causes or is likely to cause environmental harm, couldn't you say that humans are invasive species too?